So, welcome to another Thursday on the Pagan Perspective. I am Yucca, and I don't know if you can see this cute little brat, but this is Megamus, or Moose, as he is also known. And this week we are talking about once-borns. Hi, I don't have anything. I don't have any more, sweetie. So I'm going to go ahead and read you the topic. And it comes from Hannah Reed this week, and of course, as always, it is posted below. So it says, in your opinion, what does this mean to you? Because I'm not sure what they mean by it. It is part of the witch's rede of chivalry, which I was not aware of before reading this topic. Though there may be differences between those of the old ways, those who are once born must see nothing and must hear nothing. I have a basic definition of what once born is, which is that they don't want to learn anything new from life's darker lessons. They stay with what seems safe and what is acceptable to their family and society. They stick to what they already know but don't necessarily want. Once-born people do not stray from the familiar territory of who they think they are and what they think is expected of them. But I'm not sure what they mean by those who are once-born must see nothing and must hear nothing, and how it relates to the differences between those of the old ways. So, first off, I think that the previous hosts have done, a great job, as always, of tackling this problem or this topic, and I think that in general they've given the a little bit more benefit of the doubt than I really interpret it with, because the short answer of all of this is to talk about once born, and what I think once born is that it is effectively synonymous with infidel. I think it's a very disrespectful term. I still don't have anything, sweetie. You ate all of it. And it really stems from this idea of us versus them. This trying to form an identity, which is a very common human thing, not specifically a pagan thing, but it happens in a pagan community, it happens in Christian communities, it happens in high schools with cliques. Forming your identity, one's identity based on what you are, your group, but your group is not what they are, right? So, sweetie, that's annoying. I'm sorry, he's being very distracting. That's really sweet. I don't have anything more. I find the idea of a once-born, whether you're using the definition that, they only incarnate once because they don't believe in reincarnation and therefore are spiritually immature or something like that, or whether because they do not choose to follow the same path that you do, which is to explore dark sides, or if they choose to stay in the religion that they were born into. Those things are in this context being treated as though they are a bad, negative thing. I don't buy that. I think that everybody has a different choice in life, and their choices are different than our choices. My choices are different than yours. Yours are different than your sister's. But that doesn't make them less important. That does not make them less valuable. And the way that once born is being used seems like it is derogatory, right? It is less than. They aren't part of this elite group that follows the old ways. And by the way, the old ways is another topic entirely. I frankly find the label to be somewhat presumptuous. But going to the topic here really is this quote, which I'll read again for the exact wording. though there may be differences between those of the old ways, those who are once born must see nothing and must hear nothing. Now, there has been an interpretation that some of the other hosts have taken that it might mean, well, don't air your dirty laundry. I actually don't agree with that that's what is being said, because if that is what was being said, then there wouldn't be any reason to bring once-borns into it. There could be many other ways of saying that, but because though there may be many, that's qualifying it. That's not the topic, that there are differences between those who practice the old ways. How I interpret what's being said is that they're saying, okay, so there are differences between us. But independent of those differences, there's this other group, right? There's the once-borns, and they must see nothing and must hear nothing, presumably of the old ways or our ways or whatever. And must is a very strong word. Must is a command word. You must make a complete and full stop at the stop sign. You must hold your breath before putting your head under water, or else you'll get water in your lungs. That sort of thing. It's must. It's a command. They must not hear. They must not see. It's this keeping it secret from them. This continual idea of the really enforcing this us versus them idea is what I think is really being communicated here. Like, sure, we have our diversity, but we're us and they're them. If people choose to believe that way, that's their deal. I don't personally find that to be a very constructive framework for the world. I think that everybody has lessons to teach, lessons to learn. To say that when you look at someone you're only seeing the tip of an iceberg is a huge understatement, right? You actually, I don't think we see somebody and we just see this other animal. We're not seeing all of the incredible, intricate feelings and emotions and knowledge and these connections that are going on. And just because they don't choose to use the framework of magic, or they don't choose to do things differently than they were raised. All of us, for most of our life, stick with the way that we were raised. We make some changes here and there, but for the most part, we don't really deviate that far. We notice the differences because they're easier to notice than the things that are so normal in our everyday life. Kind of losing what I was trying to say there, but yeah, I guess that for me, I believe that there's another assumption under this, and that there's one truth, that there's one thing that we're all going towards, which is another thing that I don't really prescribe to, that they're not going to learn these lessons, or that they even have to learn lessons, or that lessons are even real things, because they don't choose to approach it in the same way that someone else does. So this has really been rambling quite a bit, but basically it's an us versus them kind of mentality. I personally don't prescribe to that. I think that everybody has, no matter what framework they choose to look at the world in, learns a lot and is an incredibly deep person. I don't buy the idea that people who claim to practice the old ways are somehow more elite, that their knowledge is somehow more valuable because they keep it secret from those they don't include in part of their elite group. So yeah, I hope that didn't come off too strong. I don't mean it in a kind of attacking way or anything like that, just that it's something that I find very offensive personally. Doesn't seem to be a very constructive way to look at the world, but it's a very natural thing. And again, it's not a specifically pagan thing. I was reading some of the comments on the other videos, which is where that is coming from. I don't think that it's a new thing to the pagan community or exclusive to us. It's cliques, which is unfortunate. So I hope you guys have a great week. I'm really looking forward to all the new topics which are coming up. And okay, so take care.